Hello, I'm Jochen, founder of Saddlefit for Life. Today I'd like to share a story with you which is very near and dear to my heart. It was many years ago. It was way up north in Connecticut when a client called me and says, I would like to purchase a saddle what fits me and my horse and won't hurt me or my horse. So the day came, I moved out, and this was a beautiful horse, beautiful neck, great disposition, very kind horse. And obviously you could see the horse and the owner had a very good connection. So we made the saddle, we delivered the saddle, and the customer was absolutely happy and the horse was moving well. So a couple of years went on, the horse and rider accelerated and they moved up in the levels. And then the client says to me, you know, Jochen, I would like to give the horse the potential where this horse can go, because I've been told this horse can go all the way to Grand Prix dressage, and I don't have that in me, or I don't have that level to go that high. So I would like to get that horse trained to that level. And I've been told to ship it to Florida. So she shipped the horse to Florida, and I haven't heard from her for a long time. So out of the blue, she calls me again and says, Jochen, I hear you're going to Florida as well. Yes. Could you do me a favor? I give you the address of the barn where my horse is right now. Would you please look at my horse, because the groom and the trainer down there say my horse absolutely hates the saddle I made for him, and they're not using it, and the horse is unrideable, and they're telling me I need to sell this horse now. I was of course shocked, and the customer of course was very concerned. So I went to Florida. I saw the horse, but to my detriment, or to my sadness, I couldn't recognize the horse, neither could I see anybody at the barn. Eventually I find the groom, and the groom says, yeah, the horse is over there. So I says, do you mind getting him out? So he got him out, and once I saw how the groom approached the box where the horse in the stall, the horse turned around and did not want to be caught. I couldn't even recognize the horse. It was a completely different animal. It looked like a fire-spitting dragon. And I says, that's not the same horse. He says, are you sure it's the saddle from the sweet lady from Connecticut? Yeah, that's the horse. It was so sad. I mean, his eye was dead. His disposition was horrible. He had holes in the shoulder. He had a U-neck. He was tight in the shoulder. Underneath the back of the saddle were two big holes toward the atrophied. But the worst part was the deformity in his croup and his SI joint. He had a super tight hamstring and a massive holding line on the side. So he moved that horse out, and the horse was just like angry. You could see it in his face. His ears were back. And he puts him in the cross tie and he says, well, where's the saddle? Can you bring me her saddle? She brings me the saddle, and clearly the saddle wasn't used. There was a lot of dust on it. And the owner said, the groom said, well, we don't use that, because we don't like it. Well, why don't you like it? Well, my trainer is sponsored in this saddle, and they only ride in this saddle. So I said, so this saddle wasn't ever on this horse? No, because we are riding in this brand. Oh, okay. So I put the owner's saddle on this horse, and that's what I was there for. The owner called me to make sure that her saddle fits. So I put the saddle on the horse, and that saddle didn't fit at all. That beautiful saddle I made didn't fit at all. So why didn't it fit? Because the horse was in a holding pattern, almost sway back. And of course, that was not the same horse I remember. And the horse has not the same physique, because the horse was so in pain and so deformed in the body. So I says, well, that makes no sense. I need to see the movement, because we as saddle ergonomists, or people who went to our Saddlefit for Life school and became a certified equine ergonomist, know we need to see the horse's movement. And when I was seeing this horse's movement on the lunch line, wasn't so well, not the way I remembered this horse, barely tracked up, very short. And then I says, are you able to ride? I understand you ride this horse also once or twice a week. She says, yeah. So the groom gets the trainer saddle, and it fitted like a puzzle piece. The back was fitting right nice in the hole. The front was pinching into the neck, and it sits on the spine. So I was, almost like I just coughed. I was like trying to look away. horrified. I didn't want to give too much away in my disgusted face here, but I said, okay, do you mind saddling the horse up? And the horse was just going nuts as soon as the girth came, as soon as the rider approached him to mount this horse. And what do we see here? A lot of pull and kick. It says, can you just let him loose on the rein? Don't pull so tight the nose around. And well, we watched the walk, trot, and canter, and clearly the horse was almost dangerous. You know, rearing, bucking, shying from every little thing. As I said, this was not the same horse. So the moral of the story here is, here's a lady who loves her horse and gives the horse a potential to go to the highest level in the sport. And the horse is ridden in the saddle. It's not even made for him. It's a saddle what goes on all other type of horses. It's a saddle what is made by another company for this trainer. And the trainer, the owner up north was the female. The trainer who rode this horse was the male. So even if the male rider would ride in the owner's saddle, it was the female saddle, I can see why the customer didn't like the trainer, didn't like the customer's saddle. I can understand that, because who likes to ride in, as a guy, I can emphasize this, I would never ride in female underwear. This doesn't work. It's painful, it's uncomfortable. Now imagine this in the saddle, what is not meant to fit your pelvis floor. So I got that. But what I didn't understand is why did we wait 2 years? Why did we make this horse so sore and so sour and deformed and crippled this horse? Now, unfortunately, when you're sponsored in saddles and you don't care about saddles, sometimes you just see the saddles as a tool, not necessary as an equipment, which is very important for the animal to allow themselves to unfold. So here the owner was told that horse is dangerous. I saw that. Even with the groom, rearing, shying, bucking. I would do this too if I have that torture device in my back. And the owner now has been told this horse is dangerous and needs to be sold. So no matter what I was doing or would do, I haven't done anything to it, because the customer refused, the trainer refused to ride in the saddle I made. And the saddle they have, I couldn't fit because that had to fit all the other horses. So the moral of the story in the end, this happens all over, and not just to me, to many equine agronomists and saddle agronomists, and even saddle fitters, where people are stuck with an equipment what has been forced on an animal, where certain people are sponsored with, rather than understand how vital it is that the saddle has to fit the horse and the rider. I have created Saddlefit for Life and put many different type of courses on Saddlefit for Life, so that every owner gets a glimpse of an idea what is so important, how the saddle has to fit. We also have Saddlefit for Life courses for body workers, veterinarian, equine experts, who could go into a little bit more detail so they understand how to evaluate the saddle. And on top, we have created many different courses so you can make this a full-time career. So if you like what you heard today, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tell your friend to make sure that the saddle has to fit the horse and the rider, but most important, tell the friend about Saddlefit for Life, and see you next time.